Australian race walking has never been stronger, with quality and depth able to fill all 9 Beijing Olympic places on offer. We caught up with 5 of Australia's Olympic representatives at the Australian Race Walking Carnival in Canberra just a couple of months prior to the opening ceremony. All of them are heading off to their first Olympic Games. Tallent from the Ballarat YCW Club will double up in both the men's 20 kilometres and 50 kilometre events.
Well, I'm mainly focusing on the 20k, so that's first. It'll be a different story if the 50k was first. You probably wouldn't back up after that. But yeah, tackling the 20k very hard. Hoping to do really well on that, and then we've got a week before the 50k, and I still think I can do well on the 50k, but my main focus is in 20k, and the 50k is a really good bonus, and hopefully get a top 10 result in that as well.
Kellie Wappshott from the Knox Club secured her Olympic berth with her Australian 20 kilometre title and a qualifier at Faulkner Park, Melbourne back in February.
Kellie, what does this mean for you?
I think I'm going on the Olympics.
So really, my thinking is if you can get around that 92 minutes again, you're going to be very competitive. What do you reckon?
I'd hope so, especially with the hot weather over there. I'm hoping it'll even the field out a lot.
You were doing a very demanding uni course. You finished that now, and I hear that you're working in the field.
Yeah, I finished it. I'm studying. Well, I was studying to be an osteopath, and I am one now.
Well done.
Working 2 days a week as one. I've recently cut back my hours on that though. Just leading up to the Olympics, I kind of realised I wasn't coping. Just kept getting sick and too tired to train all the time. So, really cut back my hours a lot.
Yeah. Athletics Essendon's Chris Erickson was the last walker added to the team with selection in the men's 20 kilometres.
Secured my selection at the World Walking Cup in Cheboksary in Russia by getting under the qualifying mark by 5 seconds, and it was basically the last race left to do a qualifying time in. So yeah, certainly the pressure was on, but I managed to just get there and sneak my way into the team. And I was originally doing the 50k there, so and we made a late decision to put me into the 20k to sort of help out the team and to also give sort of one more shot for myself to get a 20k time on the board.
Adam Rutter from New South Wales walked A qualifiers for both the 50 kilometres and 20 kilometre distances, but at just 21 years of age has passed up the 50 kilometre option.
Well, not to do both was pretty much a pretty easy decision because my training isn't at the stage to be able to do both well. It would have, doing the 20 and then the 50 would have sacrificed probably either one of them or maybe both. I guess 50, I think I had a better chance of getting a high finish, so that was pretty much the main decision.
Claire Woods from South Australia, another of the women's 20 kilometre walkers, won her spot with a performance at the Australian Championships in February.
Unbelievable feeling to be selected in the Olympics. I had sort of some ups and downs with some appeals and those sorts of things, so for that to finally be over and know I'm going and know that I've met my pre-departure standards, just amazing. I come from a large family and nobody else in my family is really athletic, so it's pretty amazing, and it's nice to have my whole family support behind me.
The AIS is home to all these athletes, where they are coached by Brent Valence. Brent represented Australia in race walking at the 1995 and 1997 World Cups and the 1998 Commonwealth Games. Since retirement from competition, he has been at the AIS for the last 5 years as a coach.
Now, you're keen on doing a lot more apart from just walking. You have them in the gym and all sorts of other activities?
Yeah, the gym, we're probably not doing anywhere near as much as what we have previously, but earlier in the Olympic cycle, yeah, and particularly with Adam and Jared when they were quite young, we did a lot of stuff in the gym, which is, it sort of doesn't make any sense to me as a coach at the time when they're walking their best, they're not doing the strength and conditioning, because I put a lot of value on it earlier in their career.
I train with the AIS squad here in Canberra, so there's a whole group of us, obviously a few of us going to the Olympics this year, which is great. So we train with Brent Valence here at the Australian Institute of Sport and on the roads around Canberra.
Training under Brent Valence at the AIS, so we've got a pretty good squad. I train for my fiancée Claire Woods. I also have Chris Erickson and Adam Rutter going to the Olympics in the 20 and the 50k, and then Kellie Wappshott as well as another Olympian in women's 20k and a few others. So it's a good squad, and usually every day we start training at the AIS, and then in the mornings we can do distances between 15 and on a hard day can do up to 45 kilometres in the morning. So it gets pretty intense. For me, a big week will be between 180 and up to 200.
At full walking strength, you only do about 5 walking sessions. So you probably have like one long session. For me, that'd be around 20k. Occasionally I'll do 2 20ks a week. There'll be a speed session in that as well.
Now, Brent tells me that you actually get the highest scores on all the various VO2 max tests and everything like that they do at the Institute.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's indicative of how well. I guess that was from the natural motor I got from doing all that distance work. I came in with a very high VO2, and then just have been able to maintain that with this training.
And that was one of the reasons for moving up to the Institute, was to try and look at getting faster over the 20k, which would then help my 50k. But as it's turned out, I can now call myself a 20k walker for a little while.
Throughout that period, we'll be doing a heat chamber session once a week. So that includes being pretty much in a tent with some heaters in there, and when it gets too hot in there, they kind of just air it out a little bit. So it's pretty primitive, but it makes the conditions of being hot and humid, which we're going to experience in China. So we all sort of do, I guess, a bit of cross-training. So aerobic sessions in the afternoon generally aren't walking. If we've had a tough walk, then perhaps we'll do a walk, but we often do a lot of running or riding bike or swimming, whatever sort of you prefer, as sort of a cross-training sort of recovery session.
Jared Tallent became a household name when he travelled to China in April to compete in the recent test event at the Beijing Olympic Stadium.
It was a pretty amazing race. I didn't really expect to win. It was the IAAF challenge event in China. It's always a tough race to win because the Chinese are so strong in their own country, and it's always really fast times there. But the course was a bit hard this year, so made it a little bit slower, and I was able to start with the leaders and get away in the last couple of laps and come into the stadium first. And I didn't realise that it being the first race in the Olympic Stadium, the enormity of it, and the media there was a huge amount of media there and a big crowd, and it just went all over the world. I didn't realise that was going to happen, but special feeling. Got a big trophy that weighed about 15 kilos, so it was something very memorable.
A common theme amongst the walkers is that they got their start in little athletics.
I started little athletics when I was in under 8s, so I suppose you could say 18 years doing athletics, and probably started doing a bit of training, I think, for the walk at about the age of 13, 14.
So it really has been an incredibly long haul for you to get to the Olympics. You've been going 12 or 13 years to get that Olympic berth.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's just been gradually picking up along the way. I was a good junior. I was never sort of an outstanding junior. Didn't make any junior team, like world junior teams or things like that. And so just gradually been plodding my way along to get to the level where I am now.
Yeah, that's right. Started little lass in under 8s. Basically, when I first started, I couldn't race walk at all. I got disqualified every single week. Then a friend in primary school, her brother used to be all right at it, so I went to her house to sort of play, and they thought, we better show you how to do this because we were in the same athletics club. So they showed me how to do it, rocked up on the weekend. I think I might have finished second, just a little lass on the weekend, and then one of the coaches was like, why don't you, come and join in, come down, I'll coach you. And I said, okay, but I'm already doing real distance training before that. So I was doing my running training and then doing a walk session after that. And then after a while, the running sort of stopped and concentrated more on the race.
School teachers got me into little athletics at my school. And then my first coach, Daryl Biggin, got me into race walking at little athletics. I used to always win the walk every week, and Daryl Biggin picked me up from there and got me to come along to the local Walkers Club in Ballarat.
We have such huge depth in Australia. We must be one of the top walking nations in the world when you put it all down on paper.
Exactly. Even in the rundown of the World Cup, where it was it's widely known that Nathan wasn't in the team. I guess it's how we're viewed by our competitors as well. When the IAAF website are talking about the Australians still being having strong contenders with Luke Adams, of course, and he's a 1:19 walker and has multiple top 8 finishes now. And the emergence of Jared Tallent this season has been quite phenomenal. So to have 3 high-level male walkers and and Chris coming into the Olympic team and doing A's in both events. So we've now got 5 A-qualified male 20k walkers.
It's a fantastic feeling. It's always something that I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. Originally I wanted to be a swimmer and be like Karen Perkins, but it wasn't to be. So I'm definitely glad I'm doing this sport and off to the Olympics, and I can't wait.
Athletics Victoria wishes all the best to our Olympians.